Right. Okay. All right. Um. Right. Hello.
Hello.
There we
There
are.
we are.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Good morning,
guys.
How are we
How
all
are we all
doing?
doing?
We
We
are
are
sorted
sorted
out
out
now.
now.
Please
Please
excuse me
excuse me
for
for
the
the
stream
stream
issues.
issues.
This is
This
the
is the
third
third
stream
stream
I've
I've
done
done
now.
now.
You
Start
start
to
to
get
get
the
the hang
hang
of
of
things,
things,
but
but
there
there
are
are
going
going
to
to
be
be
a
a
couple
couple
issues
issues
here and
here and
there.
there.
From what I
From
can
what I can
see, though,
see, though,
we
we
should be
should
good
be
to
good to
go.
go.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Am I
Am I
echoing?
echoing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry
Sorry
about
about
this,
this, guys.
guys. Right.
Right.
Right. This should work now. Right. Is it echoing still? I don't think so. Right. I don't think we're echoing anymore. We should be good to go. I'm on the stream myself on my phone, and it does sound good. Perfect. Right. Sorted. Right. Well, we can actually get started now. Right. Okay. I'm new to this, if you couldn't tell. Let me just turn this down. Right. Okay. So yeah, as I said, good morning, guys. I hope everyone's doing well, ready to catch some winning trades. Hopefully, we can actually take some live this time. Now, yesterday, just a small recap. We did catch 2 trades, and I ended up making around about 1.5%. Let me just check something else. Right. Good now. Good morning, Juan. Right then, let's get it started, shall we? Small recap. Yesterday we took 2 trades. We won both of them. I made just over 1%. I made about $800 or £800 there off of that, which is obviously perfect. Can't complain with that. What we're looking at again is the same thing, just to make 1-2% quick trade here and there. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to small recap on the weekly. Just go over exactly what I was talking about last time. So what I'm looking for to find this long-term bias is using the monthly and the weekly time frames. If we just get the monthly up, I don't really use the monthly much. Just in this case, there are a couple weekly fair value gaps. We've gone over this, guys. You should know this now about the fair value gap. So we went up a time frame because there's a few weekly fair value gaps. We found this monthly fair value gap, which will be valid if we close where we are now, around here in the next 1 day and 8 hours. If we close like this, we will have a monthly bearish fair value gap, which I'm then expecting us next week and the week after to come into this area and then continue down, simply because we have at lower time frames like the 4-hour, but it's still external. We still have an external accumulation, as you can see right here, which was still inside of that range. So when we break out of this range, how it would look is we break out of this range for a few days, and then we go into this monthly fair value gap, respect this fair value gap, and then take our sell position. So we could literally just trade that if we wanted to, just the higher time frames, simply just trading AMD and fair value gaps. We accumulate on the 4-hour, the daily, then we manipulate on the 4-hour and the daily into the monthly fair value gap, look for signs of it's respecting that fair value gap and stuff like that, and then we take our sell entry there, or we can just use it as our overall bias. Now, I probably will be swing trading this, just like a small position, as I normally would, in the background whilst I'm doing my normal day-to-day stuff, and I'll also be using it for my bias. Now, that's out the way. That's it's still in the same situation as it was on Tuesday. What we're looking at today is obviously the 15-minute, seeing what's going on there. Now, if we just go back to Forex Factory, I just want to have a quick look at this. So at half one, we did have, which is just over an hour ago now, we did have big USD news, which obviously did give us that that push here, which you can see in the markets. We formed an LTA to the left-hand side, came down, and anyone who's in my premium understands that LTAs or a bullish LTA is a W pattern. So we come down, make that left-hand side of the W, then the W itself, and then we come back up just as quick. And that was all because of the half one news, this move here. So there is that. But on our way up, we did form a fair value gap. But I'm not going to look at that at the moment. I'm just going to draw that out now. And then I want to look at this. So, we've got our accumulation right here. Plain and simple. I think this may have been through London session though. We did kind of move throughout Asia, as you can see. We consolidated through London. And now we've gone straight to distribution during the New York session. You can get accumulation, manipulation, and distribution like this. Pretty simple stuff. And sometimes you can just get this as well. So we accumulate, and then we just go straight to distribution. Now we've gone over why this happens. Manipulation is a liquidity grab. Sometimes we don't need to actually grab any liquidity and make any liquidity. Sometimes we can just literally just go straight in our direction. So that's how that works, and that's what's going on here. So we've literally just come out of a distribution move, which was caused by big news. So what we are looking at again, same routine as yesterday and the day before. We are looking at some form of consolidation. We might be able to catch a move similar to this one later on in the afternoon, around about like 3:30, 4, as you can see here. But we could come back into this fair value gap and then continue up, and that would make sense for us as well. Now the only thing is, I don't think we're going to break out of here anytime soon, like for the rest of this week really. And trying to trade this breakout is a bit more risky. So if we are going to take a trade, I think the most, or the highest we're going to go is up here, which is obviously the high of accumulation. If we just go back to the 15-minute. What we could do is we could wait for literally simple stuff. We've got a BPR here. If I just draw this out, you can see this. A BPR is overlapping fair value gap. So this area over here is a BPR, where the fair value gaps are overlapping. It's a balanced price range. It's simply just two fair value gaps overlapping, really. So if we come back into this and show signs that we're going to respect it, we could literally just take a buy position here. That's what I'm saying, guys. Take a buy position here, target this up here. And that's what I'll be looking at today. Now, the only issue is I would like to see us come back to this accumulation and respect that as well. Maybe like a long wick. If we do something like this and just get a nice long wick down into this accumulation, bounce off of it, and then kind of like, if we could close like that, something like this, maybe even just inside here. But if we can close something like this, that would be perfect, because what could happen is, obviously it's like this could basically be the manipulation. We're calling it distribution. I'm calling it distribution because it is a big move. Usually manipulation would be like to this fair value gap or something. It is quite a big move, so I'm calling it distribution, but it could also be manipulation. And if it is manipulation, that means that we would go straight through this and continue down, basically. So in an attempt to avoid that issue, what I want to do is I want to wait for price to kind of, without disrespecting this BPR or a fair value gap here, I want it to come into this accumulation and basically just like wick it and reject it, and then just instantly reject it, closing inside this fair value gap and still respecting this fair value gap. And if we can do that, that would be the best case scenario to actually take this trade. Really. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to clean up a little bit. We're going to look at this trade I took yesterday as well. I think it was on the 5-minute, my analysis. I'm just going to walk you through this trade as well whilst we wait for this to play out. So you might be able to see this, you might not. here is there's wicks right here. So if we just look at this right here, if I just draw a circle here, there is a wick, and this is the candle that it relates to. So there's this candle here with a really long bottom wick, but it's inside of a bearish fair value gap. So we've come down, formed a bearish fair value gap, came back in and respected it. And at this point in time, my point of view or my thought process was that this is a bearish engulfing candlestick, evening star candlestick pattern, respecting a fair value gap. Literally standard stuff. It happens time and time again. So I got into this trade around about here somewhere, whilst the candle still looked like this. So it did look like it was an evening star candlestick pattern. It says at the top left, it says GBP JPY. It will always say what pair I'm on here or up here. But yeah, so at that point in time, we were looking like we had a bearish engulfing evening star candlestick pattern whilst respecting this fair value gap. Obviously, you put your stop loss literally just above the fair value gap. I was very close to not actually, I was very lucky, sorry, to not actually get took out due to this long wick up here. But my entry was right, the move was right still. So we got in, when we were respecting this fair value gap, we did kind of retest it again. Obviously, we ended up respecting it. Came down, made another one, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm going straight to break even now. It was literally just above break even. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go break even now and let this play out. And in terms of targets, we had a fair value gap all the way down here, plus liquidity that we didn't actually come back to yet. So I was pretty sure we were going to come down to the bottom of this fair value gap, and we did. We went straight through it, took out this liquidity, made a new low. So that's yesterday's last trade, or yesterday's second trade. That made me around about 345, I think it is. That made me 355 and 20p. Don't know why 20p is there, but you know, can go a long way. So that's yesterday. That's what happened yesterday. I've shown you what we're looking for today. I'm just going to see what's going on with that now. So we have actually come back into this fair value gap. We are respecting it though. That's the only issue. I don't want to respect it too soon. I really do want to try and retest this accumulation. That would be best case. We'll see how this candle closes. If we can close engulfing or, big, we could look at just taking a buy position there. I do kind of want to see how we react to this accumulation because we could literally just start melting to the downside now. We'd want to kind of see how price reacts to this accumulation zone. But that would be the entry. I think we're good to take that entry. The risk to reward ratio isn't too low. It's not the highest, but it isn't too low. So we could take our entry there with our stops just below the fair value gap. If we put our take profit up here ultimately, I think we could use a Fibonacci, or we could just go to the left-hand side and see what's going on over here. See if there's anything we haven't really come back to yet. Now, there is a fair value gap here, which we already have respected. So, yeah, there's not really much in the way. So I'll be pretty confident to hold this. I think once we come out and take this high, we could then look at moving to break even. Because if we reject off of that and come back down to here, we're probably going to continue down anyway. So that makes sense. And the confluence would be this fair value gap, the accumulation, and then we're respecting the fair value gap. Okay. So yeah, we can just wait for this setup to play out now. I don't really want to take this trade too early. I want to wait and see how price reacts to this accumulation. I think we could come back here. There's a big range here. We'll give it 4 minutes. I think my stops would have to go here. and I'm not trading less than 1R. So we can't go higher than here. If we go higher than here and we close higher than here, you can get in for the trade. I wouldn't get in for the trade simply just because the R isn't high enough. Now, if we close like this, how we are now, we can look at taking this trade and seeing how price plays out. We'll just give it a few minutes and see what happens. I'll probably be risking half though, because I do really think we could come down to here still. But if price is suggesting otherwise, you know, we have to take that if it fits our plan. Right, we've got 2 minutes, just under 3 left on this 5-minute candle, and also 15. No, this is the start of the 15. All right, it looks like we are going to push up. We can't go higher than here. But we've got to wait for the close, guys. We've got to wait for the close. And just a quick check on the fundamentals. There isn't much left for the rest of the day, so you are pretty much free to trade for the rest of the day. I've got a couple orange folder pieces, but obviously no red folder, so that's great. Come on, GJ, 2 minutes left. I think once we close, if we close like this, we're going to be taking that position straight away. If we close like down here, I'll probably be staying out of it. And obviously, if we close up here, I'll also be staying out of it. We do kind of just want to stay in this range for now, for the next minute or so. Hopefully, we can just kind of go around like here. And let's just sort this out. So yeah, I'm going to be risking half here, guys. Not 1%, 0.5%. Because if we lose this trade, I still am up for the week. But I still want to retain a nice profit, not just some profits. Right, 50 seconds. Come on. All right, it's pushing. What's the R here? Yeah, I suppose, if we close here, we can just get in. It's 0.96, sorry. I don't go for lower than 1. It's pretty much 1, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Right, I'm in now, guys. So it's about 9.4R. Not the best, but we'll see how this plays out now. As I said, we could still come down here before we continue up, but price is suggesting we're going to continue up first. Based on we've come into this fair value gap, respected it, and formed a morning star candlestick pattern with an engulfing. That is standard procedure for me. It's what I take all the time. So I've got high hopes for this. We've got 4.5 minutes left, and we've opened with no top wick, which means we're making the bottom here. We're making the open. We've opened, we made the low. Now we're going to make the high, and then we're going to close. So I do expect to make this top wick at some point. I'm just going to set my TP levels now and stuff. So we're looking at 191.867. And our TP is, our stop loss, is 190.789. Right then, now we just kind of sit here and let it play out. As I said, I'm expecting price to flip on this 5 minute. There we are. See how we flip. If you can use that on a higher time frame, if you can use that exact thing I've just used, if you can use that on like the daily or the 4 hour, you can really catch some profitable trades like quite easily. Think about that, right? Imagine if we were like super scalpers on like the 1 second time frame. Imagine like the trade we would have just caught then if we knew that price was going to flip to make this high. Try and drag that over there. Come on, GJ. I think how this would make sense, the way this makes most sense is if we take, once we've come up above here, took out this high, we then move stops to like around about here somewhere. And then what I'm assuming will happen is, we make a low, higher low, then make a higher high, then we can move to break even. That's how I want to play this trade. Come on, GJ. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. Now we just got to sit here and let it play out and see what happens. Also, if you've been seeing me talking about like the free big news, I've got an announcement to make. Actually, it's a buy position. Yeah, I am going to be releasing a new free course on this strategy, exactly how to trade this. That's going to be coming out over the next few weeks. At some point, it will all be on WAP. If I just pull up my WAP page now, actually. So yeah, right now, obviously, if you want to learn this strategy, exactly how I take this trade, exactly how to find a currency pair to trade with, exactly how everything works, you know exactly where to go. It's only $197. Price will be going up soon. But what I'm saying is, on here, there's going to be a free course. Basically, it's all just going to be on WAP rather than you having to give me your email and phone number. It's just going to be all on WAP instead. That's going to be coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that. Keep your eyes peeled. That's going to teach you exactly how to trade this. Right, so this is the last 5 minute of the 15. And the way, if this 15 minute closes how it is now, very strong sign that this is just going to continue up. It's just literally just a waiting game now, guys. Has anyone got any Forex pairs you want me to look at? You know, whilst we're sitting here, we might as well just have a look at a few pairs. If anyone's got any suggestions. No? So, guess we'll just chill then. See how it goes. AUD USD and GU. Sound. Right. What's going on here? So the first thing I can see is this BPR here. This is probably going to be quite useful. There's this fair value gap here as well. So if we just go up like to the 30-minute. Yeah, so there's this area here which you want to be looking at. Don't really want to be paying attention to that. What you want to be waiting for is price to come back into this area up here. This is a BPR. BPR is a balanced price range where two fair value gaps overlap, as we've discussed. So you can keep an eye out for that. That'll be quite useful. Obviously, we're looking quite bearish. How this has played out is very straightforward. We've got our accumulation here, then we've got our manipulation to the upside, where we formed a bullish fair value gap, which we then disrespected with, and whilst we disrespected it, as we disrespected the bullish fair value gap, we formed a bearish fair value gap in the distribution phase of AMD. So we're currently in the distribution move. Once we come back into here, you could look at taking a continuation maybe. I think, you know, the odds that we'll come and take out these lows here, quite high. We're quite close to it. But that's what I'm seeing. Because we're in the distribution move, what I'm expecting, obviously, is more than likely, you know, is that accumulation next phase where we just kind of consolidate for a bit. We might even get this kind of thing happen. So we kind of consolidate here, manipulate, distribute. That would be perfect. But what I'm saying is, more than likely, you've missed the move. If you're looking for any moves, now's not the time really. If we've had the move, you know, there's not really else to say there. What you're better off doing is waiting for some form of accumulation or consolidation, and then trade off of that. So we've come out of a distribution move now. So what's more than likely is another consolidation. So just wait for that consolidation, then wait for a fake out, and then trade in the opposite direction. Easy stuff there. Now, GJ, what are you doing? Talk to me. Nice. That's the hourly with no bottom wick, though. So you could take a sell here. There you go. See what I'm saying, guys? So useful. So AUD USD, no bottom wick on the hourly. Just going to flip and make that. AUD USD, we're coming out of a distribution move, so we are looking at consolidation next. So it's not really looking like there's going to be much. Moving on. GU. Now, GU, I think I had a look at these the other day, didn't I? Yes, we did. And we did end up continuing that distribution move. Before consolidating, look what happened, guys. Continued the distribution move, and then we started consolidating. It's literally textbook stuff. It's so systematic. So we did all that. Yep. Straight to distribution. Chilled. Okay, so we are. It looks like we're in. Hopefully the manipulation, which means we would which means we're going to distribute to the upside. If we just draw this out, it's quite a big fair value gap, but that makes sense. If we draw this out, oh come on, GJ. Giving us a whole load of nothing. Right, GU. So really, what we could literally just take you could literally take a buy position now. Maybe wait for price to close above here. Once price closes up there, you can take a buy position up to the top of here. Textbook stuff. Why? Because we've accumulated here, then manipulated down into a bullish fair value gap, which we haven't come back to yet. We're seemingly respecting it, and if we close up here, then we would have respected it. So then you can take that buy position, which would be the distribution. Again, standard stuff, guys. Wait for price to close above here, and then you can take a buy position. That's what I'm saying. Moving on. AU, GU, EU. We'll go over the Euro USD. I think we did this as well on Tuesday. So there might be an analysis there to look back on. Nope. Okay. Never mind. Don't know what is going on here. GU and EU literally look the same. If we just pull up GU. GJ isn't looking the best. What is going on? Looks like we just want to kind of retest this fair value gap. That's annoying. Right. GU, that's what's going on there. EU. Yeah, they look exactly the same, don't they? Look. You got this, like barcode, massive bearish candle. Barcode, massive bearish candle. Slight accumulation. Slight accumulation. But this must be where the GBP took strength again and kind of pushed us down. Because we haven't done that yet on the Euro. So what that means is literally the same thing. We're accumulating on the Euro. We're looking to manipulate in some form of direction and then take that distribution move. Now, where would we manipulate to? We just go to the left-hand side and look for fair value gaps. These are most often the areas we go to. So we just look at that. Any fair value gaps that haven't been touched yet? There's not really any. There's one here. We just drag that along and just extend to the right. Oh. I don't know what that was. And then, yeah, we are inside of a previous accumulation as well, which is a strong sign. But I guess that's it. We're going to have to wait to manipulate down to here, and then we can distribute to the upside. Or we can manipulate to the upside and then continue up. But we have just formed a bearish fair value gap here, came back and respected it, and then continued down. So what you could do now is, if this 15-minute closes like this, you could take a sell position right here with your stops here and your take profit here, and that would be trading the manipulation phase of AMD, which is obviously easily doable. Pretty high win rate as well. The only issue with that is it's quite a low R sometimes. As you can see, it's like 0.9 here, but you could take the sell position right down to this area over here, and then take a buy position off of that. What I'll do is I'll leave that, and what we can do is we can see how this is playing out. So we can see this tomorrow. I'll leave those here, and AU as well. I'll leave AUD USD up as well. If we just pull that up. So we're going to leave all this analysis here and see how this plays out. As you can see, we are kind of pulling towards this area over here, taking out this low. GJ is still trying to just retest this fair value gap. Hopefully we can respect that and just bounce up still. See how that goes. Moving on, so we've done AU, we've done GU, we've done EU. What we're looking at next is gold. Okay, XAU USD. See what gold's chatting, will we? 0.54%, 2.5k. It's ridiculous. I literally remember when gold was 1,700 an ounce. I think it's an ounce. Now it's 2,500 an ounce. It's ridiculous. Right. So, all right. This is self-explanatory again. This is so systematic, guys. If you want to learn this, if you want to learn exactly how to analyze, exactly how I'm analyzing now, go here. Go to this website, wap.com, Fast Track Forex, and buy this. Honestly, everyone who's joined has had amazing results and said good things. There's not really been a bad word said about it. And it's exactly how to analyze just like this. So what we're looking at is accumulation. Then we manipulate to the upside. You should be seeing this pretty standard stuff, guys. Manipulate to the upside. We manipulate to the upside. And what do we do when we manipulate up? We distribute down. Simple as that. Then we have our expansion or reversal phase where we come back to the accumulation or continue in the opposite direction. So we have an extended distribution, or we can come back to the accumulation range, and that's the expansion reversal phase. So we've done that, which means we pretty much are guaranteed to have an accumulation next. So gold is going to be consolidating next, I believe. And then once it's consolidated, then we can start looking at what's going on there. But for now, there's nothing really going on in gold. We are just looking at an accumulation next. Once we've accumulated, then we can look at trying to catch a trade. But we haven't started yet, so we can't. Gold, XAU, Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin. We'll have a look at Bitcoin. Just going to go back on GJ for a sec. Yeah, we are really pushing down here, bearish, aren't we? That's not the best sign. Hopefully we can just kind of respect this and continue up now. Annoyingly. Right, okay, Bitcoin. Okay. Actually, we're going to look at Bitcoin USD. Right. GJ is free falling. Sorry, I can't really read the comments much. I'm going to have to pull it up on my phone. Where's my entry on gold? Well, there's no trade, so there wouldn't be any entry, would there? Yeah, that's exactly what I was expecting. Expecting us to come back to here. So if we lose this, we could take a re-entry. I'm still liking it though. I'm still got high hopes for it. But yeah, Cruise FX. There is no entry because there is no trade. Okay, why is this green? There. One sec. What one will we on, guys? Doesn't really matter. Okay, so Cruise FX. This is what I'm seeing. So we're accumulating. You know, we can drag that out. You can drag it out a bit. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. You know, it's around here really. Then we manipulate up here, taking out this. Then we distribute. Then we expand / reverse. It's called the expansion phase. It's X. It is the reversal though this time. what we're going to do is going to color that pink, because why not? And then, yeah, what we're expecting next is an accumulation. So there is no trade here. There was a trade opportunity here. So if you're asking me about my entry, the only thing I can show you is where I would have entered here. I think that's what you might be talking about. You were saying about AMD, so where's your entry if you were to take it? If I was to take this trade, it's textbook stuff, guys. It literally pretty much always goes into a fair value gap. And what's this over here? A fair value gap. Come on, do I really need to explain myself here? We move up into a fair value gap. Then we do almost an evening star. It's not really the best. It's not really engulfing here. But we respect this fair value gap. That's the real thing we're looking at. We respect this fair value gap. I probably would have took an entry here, maybe here, but would have been here with my stops like above this wick here. So I would have been safe. Because I would have put it above this wick. Now, my target, maybe it would have been this fair value gap here, this fair value gap here, or maybe even just this low over here. To say that I would catch the entire distribution move is a lie, because I wouldn't. Realistically, I probably would have targeted this fair value gap here. So we're looking at about a 3-hour trade. Yeah. Does that make sense, Cruz? Yeah, the push down was just from news. Nice. Thanks for letting us know. Yeah, distribution can be anything really. But my entry wasn't news. I don't trade news. I would have let this play out whilst I was in news. And I think move down from news, I think you may just mean this candle. Not this. But yeah, I would have took my entry around about half 11. Easy as. And let it play out. Probably would have targeted this fair value gap though. But as I said, there isn't really any trading opportunities now. We've had the moves. What we're looking at next is a consolidation. We probably will get a consolidation next. And then once we've had that consolidation, we can start looking at like what direction we're going to manipulate to and distribute from. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. Like literally almost every single time it manipulates into a fair value gap and then reacts to it like this. Perfect entry up here. What we'll do is we'll leave this up, see how that goes, and then we're gonna have a look at Bitcoin. Let me just go on to GJ. Okay. Not bad. Right. Bitcoin, let's have a look at Bitcoin, shall we? What are you saying? Yes, AMD is fractal. Now, you may see some videos that I make or other people make saying that AMD is in Asian session. Sorry, not AMD. Accumulations in Asian session, manipulations in London, and distributions in New York. Now, that's not entirely false. But the way they are working that out is they're using like the 15, the 30, or the 1 hour time frames, or the 5 minutes sometimes as well, to determine that. So when people refer to accumulation being Asian session, that is when they're using the 15, the 30 minute, like these middle level time frames, like like the normal ones. But yeah, as you asked, is it fractal? Yes, it is. It works on every single time frame. It is a build up of liquidity, and then a take on liquidity, and then obviously the big move, which we need to build liquidity for. It happens on every single time frame. It works on every single time frame. Entry any pair. Do you mean are you asking if I'm in a trade, or you just? I'm not too sure what you mean there. Sorry. Come on, GJ. How important is market structure to me? It's what I base everything off of. If there's no structure, I probably wouldn't trade it. If we went straight up now, I wouldn't trade it. If we went straight down, I wouldn't trade it. I would wait for that price to come back to the fair value gap or something like that. I think market structure is or should be important to everyone. Very important to everyone who's a profitable trader. If it's not important to you, then you probably aren't profitable or won't be. You've really got to care about market structure. When something's overbought or oversold, a lot of beginner traders get caught in that, don't they? When we go straight up, there's no structure. When we go straight down, there's no structure. But when we go straight up, everyone's like, buy, buy, buy. We're going to continue. We're going to go up. We're going to go up. But when we're going up, I'm always like, I'm waiting for this crash. I'm waiting for this move back down to this fair value gap. I'm waiting for price to react to this fair value gap that it's just moved all the way up into. That's exactly what happened on GJ. But yeah, market structure is very important. I don't know where this Fibonacci's come from. Have I analysed this once and just completely forgot about it? Alright then, come on GJ. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin's 60k. What's Bitcoin been doing? I haven't really... Don't know what this analysis is from. Is this the daily, maybe? Yes, it is. So this was... I think this might have been an analysis I did a few weeks ago. Or a month ago, something like that. This box is around June's price action. But as you can see, it is playing out. We've manipulated down into what? A fair value gap, and then we took that buy position straight off of it. It's so simple. Obviously, it doesn't really like we're going to continue up much anymore. But we did get that initial reaction. So I would be break even already. But if we go to the 15, I'm going to just remove all these drawings. What is going on gold? I mean on Bitcoin. We've been, again, not really much structure here. So we are expecting price to come back down. There's a lot of fair value gaps dotted around. There's one here. There's one down here, a small one. I expect us to come back to this one. But in terms of AMD, power 3, what are we looking at? We are looking at, it looks like straight to distribution. How do you analyze AMD? You go back to the most recent consolidation, then you work your way forward. So that's the most recent consolidation. Then we just kind of continued straight up. So this is the distribution move. Either that or an external manipulation, but more likely distribution. We've come into a fair value gap over here, which we hadn't previously come back to. And we've actually disrespected it. So that's bullish. Another target would be up here. So we could continue up maybe to here. If we go to the 5 minute, maybe there's a fair value gap somewhere. No, it's all a bit dotted. Now, the way I see this, when we have these long wicks and there's not really any fair value gaps, I see that as basically it's like unsupported zones. It's like an unsupported price area. We've got no support. When we've got these fair value gaps, when we are coming up, we may lack structure, but we do have safety nets. We have, like 1, 2, 3 fair value gaps there that price would have to disrespect. Whereas here, we just have basically nothing. There's nothing stopping price going all the way back down. So there is that to worry about. But if we can respect this inverted fair value gap now and close above here, then we can literally take a buy position. It's the simple break and retest, support and resistance combined with fair value gaps as well. If you didn't know, fair value gaps are support and resistance. We're going to have a look at GJ now. GJ's still going down. Come on. To be fair though, what's that? Like 4 trades and 1 loss, 75% win rate. That is about average for me. But yeah, moving back to Bitcoin. If we can respect this inverted fair value gap on the 5 minute and then close above this red line on the 5 minute, we could take a buy position up to this fair value gap up here. Although we are looking at, an expansion / reversal back to the accumulation or an accumulation move. So I'd just give it like an hour maybe. If you don't want to take this risk, give it like an hour, wait for an accumulation and just trade off of that. Something you'll notice about my trading style is I always like to look for consolidations. I always trade around based off of consolidations. Mohammed, I'm going to have a look at your comments now. Got to think, how important is market structure? Do you believe there's actual algo at play from what you've seen and expect? I don't think people will be like, oh yeah, it's rigged and it's all just coding and all this, and I think ICT refers to that a lot, the market makers. I don't necessarily think there's manipulation going on where we have these big corporations manipulating price to rob millions off of people. As big as that, as similar as that sounds to taking out liquidity, that's not what I mean. And the same with that as well, the same with AMD concept. I don't necessarily believe that we have it smacked down to a T on exactly what Barclays Bank are doing. When you think of Barclays Bank, right, everyone here has probably heard of Barclays Bank. When you think of Barclays Bank, I don't think that they're doing exactly what we think they're doing. People or humans we give meaning to the unknown, you see. Trading is very unknown. There's a lot of stuff that we don't see. We have to add these meanings and solutions to these unknown things. And obviously, the most logical solution is trade how the big guys trade. How do they trade? And then it's just all it's all mind game stuff. I don't necessarily believe that's true. Regardless, it works. So if it's not true, it still works. I don't necessarily believe it's true though. I like your trading style. ICT can be pretty complicated due to the amount of concepts you simplify it. Yeah, that's what I was talking about on my story as well. If anyone follows me on Instagram here, that's what I was talking about. ICT himself, I use some of his concepts, but he's a horrible teacher. It's really, really mind-numbing just sitting there going through hours and hours of lectures just to learn a couple things. But yeah, I only use the ones that obviously work for me. There's so many different concepts, and there is not always a manipulation now. So what I'm going to do is, first things first, this trade we're going to just let it play out off stream. It's not looking good, but it's just taking a while anyway. I like quick, straight to TP, straight to stop loss stuff. But what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to walk you through AMD now, okay, very quickly. So we're going to do our accumulation, we're going to do our manipulation, then we're going to do our distribution. If you want another example, there's plenty of videos all over YouTube by me and other people, and obviously all over Instagram as well. So we've got our accumulation here, then we've got our manipulation to the upside, then we've got our distribution to the downside here. Yeah, AMD. Now, what's this? This is obviously slow times in the markets or whatever, where basically we're just building up liquidity. We've got, now I need to explain something else. We've got buy side and sell side liquidity. pretty straightforward. Buy side, sell side. I'm not going to get into liquidity now because it takes ages, but liquidity basically is just where orders are sitting. So buy side liquidity is where buy orders are sitting, and sell side liquidity is where sell orders are sitting. Simple as that. Yeah. Now, institutional traders, they trade, let's say, with 1,000 lots. Yeah. They let's say they want to buy GJ now. Yeah. In this example here, they want to sell it. Actually, let's talk about that. Let's say they want to sell GJ in this example here. That means they want to sell 1,000 lots. Trading's a zero-sum game. So if we're selling 1,000 lots, we need to be able to buy 1,000 lots. Simple as that. Yeah. Now, what happens when there's not 1,000 lots available? So let's say there's only 500. Yeah. So they want to sell 1,000, but only 500 are being bought. So there's 500 there that won't get filled. They need to fill that position. How do they fill that position? They make more buy side liquidity. They're selling and they need to buy. So they need to make buy liquidity. How do they make buy liquidity? Target the buy side liquidity. Target these buy orders to make the buy liquidity. So we consolidate. Then these institutional traders, and as I said before, I don't necessarily believe this is 100% facts, but this concept works. That's the main thing. So we take out the buy side liquidity because we want to take a massive sell trade. So we take out the buy side liquidity using the manipulation. So we manipulate price. Yeah, we manipulate price to go up, to take out the buy side, to generate buy side, and then move down. So we go up, generate the buy side, which let's just say for this example is 500 lots, which means we then have 500 lots plus 500 more lots, which is 1,000 lots. So we can take our massive sell position now. So we've wanted to take a sell position. There wasn't enough liquidity, so we made the liquidity. We made the liquidity, took the position, and then price melts to the downside. That's the distribution move. We take our position and then price moves. Now, that's AMD in a nutshell. Sometimes, though, we don't actually need to make the liquidity. Sometimes we can already have enough liquidity there to take a position. And this will typically happen during news. But what's happened here is basically here we had 500 lots being sold, being bought. We needed to make more. We made more. But what can happen sometimes is price doesn't need to make more. Price already has enough lots being bought to sell 1,000 lots. So we can just go straight to distribution, just like that. Now I avoid this as much as possible. But that's how that works, Mohammed. Does that make sense? So manipulation is only there to build or generate liquidity or take liquidity. And sometimes we don't actually need to take liquidity. Sometimes there's enough liquidity there. So that's AMD and AD, as I call it, accumulation distribution. What's going on with GJ now? Looks like we are getting a bit better. We are starting to respect this fair value gap. As you can see, we are trying to push up now. We have got long wicks though, unfortunately, but we are starting to respect this fair value gap, which is perfect for me. But as I said, guys, I am done now. I'm just going to let this trade play out. I'll post the result wherever I post it. Instagram, Discord. You'll see a result somewhere, whether it's a loss or whether it's a win. Now, Bitcoin. We've gone over what's going to happen with Bitcoin. We've gone over what's going to happen with gold. We've gone over what's going to happen with AUD USD. We've gone over what's going to happen with GU. We've gone over what's going to happen with EU. And as you can see, we would have took that easy winning trade there. You're seeing me call it live. You're seeing it play out. Easy trade. If anyone caught this, let me know. But simple stuff, guys. Whoever asked me to look at EU and took this would have made money. So we can just delete that now. So that's what I've done. Five charts. One of them's already played out and won. So we've got 4. I'm 1 out of 5 so far. We're going to see how the other 4 play out. We'll see how those play out tomorrow. Currently, I'm 1 out of 5. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, GJ, it's looking a bit more better. Looking like we're pushing back up, which is always good. And I am done with this live stream, guys. So if you've got any questions, you know where to go. Make sure to like this, please like this live stream. Like the live stream. If you're new here, subscribe. Check out my free Discord server where we go over analysis and stuff like that. Make sure to keep your eyes peeled for my new free course, which is going to be coming on my WAP website. If I just pull that up now, and if you want to learn the ins and outs of exactly how I trade and how I teach my students to trade, you know exactly where to go. Fast Track Forex Trading Course, $197. That is it. Lifetime access. You get a full Fast Track course, daily trading streams, weekly live lectures, trading community, and you get to talk to me one-on-one. And that gives you lifetime access. But keep your eyes peeled for my new free course, which is going to have some bits and bobs out of this on there. And if you like that, then you can get this. But yeah, as I said, guys, I am done for the day. I'm going to let this trade play out. I'm going to set and forget, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time. Thanks for tuning in.